It's Tuesday. Tuesday on BookTube is synonymous with tags, and I've got a tag for you. This is the Seriously Well-Read book tag, which was created by Randy Ray at the Literate Texan. I was tagged by Joe of Joe's Book and Movie Corner. My name is Jim. This is my channel, books, reading, and stuff. And without further ado, the prompts. Prompt number 1. What book made you take reading seriously? I think as a child this would be one of the Jules Verne books. Books like Around the World in 80 Days or 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I read quite a few of Jules Verne's books. Also, when I moved to France, the first book I read in French was Voyage au centre de la terre, Journey to the Centre of the Earth, because I'd already read this in English, and so I could focus on the language rather than the plot. And as an adult, probably reading Kafka. I went through a phase around 1990 of reading all of Kafka. The 3 novels, none of which were completed, America, The Trial, and The Castle, and a lot of the short stories. My favourite was Metamorphosis. Prompt number 2. What book did you pretend to understand? I don't go out my way to find deliberately difficult books like The Infinite Jest or Ulysses, but I did have some struggles with Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann, and a lot of the philosophical discussions were way above my head, so I just laboured on and pretend I understood it and gave a review of the book, but I'm sure there's a lot of things in that book that I missed. Which 3 books are on your personal required reading list? These are 3 that I've been meaning to read for a while, but they're quite intimidating and I haven't got around to it. Don Quixote by Miguel Cervantes, one of the very first novels. War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. I've started it twice and DNF'd it twice, but I want to one day persevere with it. And The Warden by Anthony Trollope. I've been meaning to read something by Trollope for a long time, and now I've finished Dickens, I think I should try some Trollope. Prompt number 4. What author have you been avoiding? I've been avoiding Ayn Rand. Books like The Atlas Shrugged, I've got no intention of reading them. Ayn Rand was the darling of the objectivists, a philosophy that I don't agree with, and so I won't read her books. Prompt 5. What's the hardest book you've ever finished? I put out a video about this, I can link here. This one, well, not this exact one, this is the Bible. It's not hard in some parts, in other parts it is very taxing. It's a collection of books really rather than one book, and some of the parts of Revelation and Daniel are very tricky. Other parts, there's lots of genealogies like in Chronicles, which is quite tedious. It's not difficult, but it's just tedious to read who begat who. So, the hardest book I read. Prompt 6. What's a book that changed how you read? When I was at university in the first year, we studied American literature, and one of the books I studied was Bartleby by Herman Melville. I didn't like the character of Bartleby at all, but I read that maybe 3, maybe 4 times, and it's a book that stayed with me. Is this Zen passion for aphorism, like I'd prefer not to when asked to do anything by his employer. It's a very interesting book, even though I hated the protagonist, I really didn't like. Prompt number 7. Would you rather read 100 good books in a year or 10 great books? This is interesting. I've seen a lot of people answering this as the 100 great books because just for the broader scope, But I think I'll go with the 10 great books. To have 10 really great books, that would be something. I'm always in favour of quality trumping quantity. Which genre are you embarrassed to say you have not read? I've read most genres. I even touched on reading a romantasy. I read The Last Leviathan, which I actually quite enjoyed. I might read some more romantasy, if that's an indication of what they're like. The only genres I haven't read are the really niche ones, like maybe tentacle romance. I haven't read any tentacle romance. Or maybe things like the Greek classics. I haven't read any of the Greek classics. Or some of the Asian classics as well. And I haven't read a lot of manga. Prompt number 9. Which book do you think most people misread? There's quite a few. This one, if you read this as a romance, I think you've got the wrong idea. This may come from the movie adaptations, which completely miss out the second part of the book. I think this is even more misread. The idea that Frankenstein's monster was simply evil. The creature actually started off as sensitive and intelligent. It's only after being rejected and isolated that he becomes violent. This novel explores responsibility, creation, and empathy. And I think the bad guy in this is actually Dr. Frankenstein, who creates the monster, not the monster itself. Prompt number 10. What does seriously well read mean to you? I think if someone is seriously well read, they've read a large part of the Western canon and read widely over different genres. Seriously well read means that someone has read a large number of books and has deep knowledge from that reading. The word seriously adds emphasis, suggesting a person isn't just casually well read, but impressively or extensively knowledgeable because of reading. And there are a few seriously well read people on BookTube. Finally, as it's a tag, I should tag some people. I'll put those people in the show notes below. If you enjoyed this video, you can give it a thumbs up. This will help with the YouTube algorithm. And I shall see you on the next video. Goodbye.